Lastly, sir, this is an executive order on flag burning. It charges your Attorney General.
Would you listen to this? This is very important. Flag burning. All over the country, they're burning flags. All over the world, they burn the American flag. And as you know, through a very sad court, I guess it was a 5-4 decision, they called it freedom of speech. But there's another reason, which is perhaps much more important. It's called death. Because what happens when you burn a flag is the area goes crazy. If you have hundreds of people, they go crazy. You can do other things. You can burn this piece of paper. But when you burn the American flag, it incites riots at levels that we've never seen before. People go crazy. In a way, both ways. There are some that are going crazy for doing it. There are others that are angry about them doing it. Do you want to discuss that?
Sure. So what the executive order does, sir, it charges your Department of Justice with investigating instances of flag burning, and then where there's evidence of criminal activity, where prosecution wouldn't fall afoul of the First Amendment, and instructs the Department of Justice to prosecute those who are engaged in these instances of flag burning.
And what the penalty is going to be, if you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail. No early exits, no nothing. You get 1 year in jail. If you burn a flag, you get, and what it does is incite to riot. I hope they use that language, by the way. Did they?
Yeah, incitement.
Incite to riot. And you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail. You don't get 10 years, you don't get 1 month. You get 1 year in jail, and it goes on your record. And you will see flag burning stopping immediately, just like when I signed the Statute and Monument Act. 10 years in jail if you hurt any of our beautiful monuments. Everybody left town. They were gone. Never had a problem after that. It's pretty amazing. We stopped it. But this is something that's, I don't know, in a certain way, it's equally as important. Some people would say it's more important. Because the people in this country don't want to see our American flag burned and spit on. And by people that are, in many cases, paid agitators. They're paid by the radical left to do it. You talk to these people, they don't even know, half of them don't even know what they're doing. They say, I don't know, they gave me money to do this. I see the same things that you do. They're bad people. They're trying to destroy our nation. That's not working, because I think our nation now is the most respected nation anywhere in the world by far.
Shalom. I would like to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi Bahashem Rakakradash. I would like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all you sincere Akim, pushing this word across the four corners of the world. And just another news update through the spirit, the power, and the vibration of Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi. And as you can see through the spirit concerning national headlines, a lot of things are taking place right now. Like, we are definitely within some very pivotal times. And concerning Trump, he did say as of late that Chicago will likely be the next target of his federal deployment efforts in order to crack down on crime, homelessness, and also illegal immigration. And as you should know, Chicago is a predominantly so-called minority city within America. And Trump referred to Chicago as the killing field. And what came out of Chicago? This rap genre of music that's called drill rap. And within that drill rap music realm, one of their notable sayings is how they're out there in the field, which means that they are standing on the block or the corner and they are strapped up with high-level weapons. So again, Chicago will likely be the next target for this federal crime crackdown. And just within more recent news, as of today, which is August the 25th, 2025, Trump signed an executive order to direct the Justice Department to investigate and prosecute people burning the American flag. And they will get penalized for like 1 year in jail. But the hypocritical part about this so-called nation, America, back in 1989, the Supreme Court's 5-4 ruling upheld the right to burn the American flag, and it was considered as a form of political expression under the First Amendment. And within that time frame, they did say it will still be an option to prosecute if it's likely to incite lawless action or amounts to fighting words. But what we are witnessing within these latter times concerning Donald Trump and his higher ups that do stem from the tabernacle of Esau Edom, it just shows you how we are just witnessing more of their deceptive nature coming out more to the forefront. Because according to Revelation 12 verse 12, it stated how the devil knoweth that he has but a short time, meaning a short time concerning this Edomite supremacy, aka his rulership. And beginning from our elder apostles, bishops, elders, and sincere Akim on down of Great Millstone have been saying through the spirit over the years, like for many years at that, how this devil Esau Edom is really going to showcase himself to be the devil that the Bible speaks about within these end times. According to the book of Genesis, the 27th chapter, how Esau Edom will be blessed with a sword. And that sword comes in various fashions and forms. And one of those many weapons of that sword can be his lying tongue. How hypocritical he is concerning his different laws, policies, and different regulations. Because how you going to sign an executive order to penalize people burning the American flag, but back over 35 years ago, this very U.S. Supreme Court implemented a ruling to uphold the right to burn the American flag and will be considered as a form of political expression. But now you want to penalize these people for this while it's still under your First Amendment. And that's why it stated within Genesis, the 3rd chapter, how the serpent, which is of that deceptive spirit of Esau Edom, he was more subtle than any other beast in the field. Which means that he was very cunning, crafty, and also very artful in deception. And that takes me right to the book of Psalm 10 verse 7 within the NOT, and that's the New Living Translation. And it says, their mouths, referring to the wicked, and according to Malachi, the 1st chapter, it stated how Esau Edom is the border of wickedness. So their mouths are full of cursing, lies, and threats. And that's why Yahawashi stated within John 8 and 44, talking to those wicked Jews, how you are your father, the devil, and the lusts of your father you will do. And it goes on to say how he was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. And when he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. And this same ungodly, diabolical nation, which is the nation of Esau Edom, are currently within rulership that was appointed by Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi. And as it's stated within Job 9 and 24, how the earth is given unto the hand of the wicked. And by his plastering of lies, going into his manipulative tactics, he really has deceived the whole world. And now he's currently running the world. And his main hub is America, aka Babylon the Great. That's why it stated within Nahum 3 and 1, woe to the bloody city, it is all full of lies. So if your spirit's linked up to the volume of the book, then Esau's true colors coming out within these latter times, hence Donald Trump, is definitely not taking us by surprise. Because we have to remember and tie it back to the scriptures how that he's Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi's left-handed created player. And he's only doing his divine job and by fulfilling end-time biblical prophecies of being the wicked. So their mouths are full of cursing, lies, and threats. Trouble and evil are on the tips of their tongues. Yeah, like by Trump stating how Chicago will probably be next with this federal government takeover and how he's going to straighten out Chicago. And again, where predominantly you so-called minorities dwell at, which are you biblical Israelites. And again, he referred to Chicago as a killing field. And also going into how this federal deployment wave is going to be like a domino effect upon these different major cities within America that are highly dealing with crimes, homelessness, and also illegal immigration. And Trump's whole take is that he's implementing safety to these crime-ridden cities. And according to 1 Thessalonians 5 and 3, it's stated how when they should say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them. And a lot of our people that put forth their hope, their dreams, aspirations, their emotional attachments or investments into this sinful kingdom America, like looking at it as a continuing city for them, they're soon about to get bitten from all of that poison coming out of this venomous snake or serpent, which again is Esau Edom. So again, their mouths are full of cursing, lies, and threats. Trouble and evil are on the tips of their tongues. And we have seen just within history, of course, biblical history, also secular history, of how Esau's lying tongue has gotten him into this place of position of power that he's at right now. And with that being said, Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi is appointing Esau Edom to furbish his left-handed blessing, again, which is the sword. And he's going to utilize that upon the 2/3 of our people within these end times, which is why it's stated within Isaiah 10:5, O Assyrian, the rod of my anger, and I will send him against a hypocritical nation. And that Assyrian is referencing to the tabernacle of Esau Edom and against that hypocritical nation, speaking about the 2/3 of our people within America. Like Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi is really going to allow Esau Edom to heavily tap into that left-handed side. And that dragon is about to make war with that woman, which is the nation of Israel. Verse 8, they lurk in ambush in the villages, waiting to murder innocent people. And again, going back to this federal deployment takeover, their targets are these predominantly so-called minority cities. Again, where you biblical Israelites mostly dwell at. So they lurk in ambush in the villages, waiting to murder innocent people. Again, Nahum 3:1, how woe to the bloody city, it is all full of lies and robbery, the prey departed not. Who are the prey? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the true biblical Israelites. And also referencing to that movie, Menace to Society, that came out like in 1993, when it was within that classroom, the main character of that movie, Cain, he was with his homeboy Sharif, the Muslim Jake, and they was talking to Sharif's father in the classroom. And what did he say? How the hunt is on and you are the prey. And that hunt is linking up with Jacob's trouble, which is a critical time frame that this world never seen nor experienced before. And that hunter or that fowler is going into Esau Edom. And what does a fowler do? It's a person that hunts wild fowl. They trap birds. Did not it say within the book of Psalm 91 verse 3, how surely he, referring to Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi, should deliver thee from the snare of the fowler? And that's only referencing to the elect of the nation of Israel, whose sacrifices are going to be made acceptable unto Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi. And by that spiritual access, Abaratazat, that's us, we will be delivered from the snare of the fowler. While the 2/3 of our people, meanwhile, the 2/3 of our people within the confinements of America are about to get caught up into that snare, that trap. So again, back in Psalm 10 verse 8, they lurk in ambush in the villages, waiting to murder innocent people. They are always searching for helpless victims. Like lions crouch in hiding, they wait to pounce on the helpless. Again, the prey that departed not. You 12 tribes of Israel. Like hunters, they capture the helpless and drag them away in nets. There you go, how Esau Edom is referenced as the snare of the fowler. And a lot of our people are soon about to get trapped up into his deceptive tactics within these end times, especially leading up to the MOTB. We saw a great prime example of that when the jab was rolled out. Look how many of our people fell victim to that. And the pressure wasn't that serious or magnifying comparing unto how the MOTB system will be implemented. Verse 10, their helpless victims are crushed. They fall beneath the strength of the wicked. And that's because Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi is going to allow a great sacrifice within Basra. And that's spiritually referring to America. And the slain of Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi is going to be many. And many wicked Israelites at that. And that takes me right to the book of Daniel 7:25. And he, referring to Esau Edom, should speak great words against the Most High, and should wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And that's because the so-called powers that be that are rooted from the tabernacle of Esau Edom have totally flipped the righteous standard upon this earth. And that's the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi. And that's it stated within the book of Psalm 50 and 16. Like, what hast thou do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? And seeing how the tabernacle of Esau Edom hated instruction, and they cast the Most High's words behind them. So again, they downplay that righteous standard of Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi, and they upheld or promote their wicked laws, statutes, and different regulations or protocols or policies. Again, just like Donald Trump just signed an executive order to direct the Justice Department and to prosecute and penalize Americans for burning the American flag, and they will be sentenced 1 year in jail. But the Supreme Court's ruling back in 1989, it was totally different. It was considered as a form of political expression. So if he changed the Creator, which is the Heavenly Father Yahweh, through his unbegotten Son Yahawashi's laws, statutes, and commandments, then how much more that he would do within his own kind? And they should be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time. And that's going into the 350-year period. When we came over here as the Israelites on slave ships, when the southern kingdom of the nation of Israel came over here with slave ships, until like 1969 to 1970, and that's when our elder high priest Abba Bivens, the spirit hit him to herald Yahawashi, just like how he did through the spirit when he was John the Baptist. No new things under the sun. So John the Baptist came into this lot as high priest Abba Bivens, and he fulfilled a heavy purpose. And that's by introducing us through the spirit as the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, and really the world as well, to Yahawashi. And let's get right quick. Isaiah 19 verse 1, the burden of Egypt, and that's referencing to America. When you read Revelation 11 chapter and the 8th verse, it goes into about that city that is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. And again, that's referencing to America, because America and ancient Egypt has a lot of similarities with the different idols, with the different idol worship, the festivities, the Nile River, and you have the Mississippi River. Just that perverse spirit as ancient Egypt had, America emulates that same perverse spirit as well. So it says, behold, the Lord Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi rideth upon a swift cloud, and that's going into the so-called UFOs or the spaceships. But indeed, they are the chariots of Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi, which are those same spiritual vehicles that will partake into annihilating America very soon. And should come into Egypt, again, America, and the idols of Egypt should be moved in his presence, and the hearts of Egypt should melt in the midst of it. So the American pride spirit, or that make America great again spirit, is slowly dying out on a daily basis. A lot of people are losing hope within America. Their last so-called white great hope, which is Donald Trump. That's why you see a lot of videos on social media of videos entitled Trump Regrets. And it says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and that's the Americans against the Americans. Because very soon it will be a Civil War 2.0. And we are witnessing major division within the so-called United States of America on a daily basis. So all of that tension, that anxiety, that depression, that load of stress that's upon these everyday Americans is only building up for that great moment where it's soon about to be a very chaotic environment within America. And that's what the so-called powers that be want. They want that order out of chaos. So therefore they can institute their order, which is that NWO. So that tension here within America is brewing. And that lid is going to pop off very soon. And it says, and they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And what did Yahawashi state within Mark, the 3rd chapter? That kingdom cannot stand. There's too many divisions, like it's too many, and that's the overview for America. And just overall, and just ideologies, religions are at difference with. That people within America are at difference with. Should fail in the midst thereof, which means which is linking up with Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter, and the 3rd verse. How those that look out the windows should be darkened for America. Proudful Americans, nor you proudful Americans. And they should seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. And according to Isaiah, the 47th chapter, it says, stand now in thy enchantments. Will conjure up. Because those deities that the left-handed priesthood of Esau, Edom, because ultimately it's the power, they're not going to work according to their favor anymore. Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi. Point within verse 4. In the Egypt, they control the left and the right. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. He's showcasing, and this is definitely referencing to Donald Trump, other previous American president, as being a cruel Lord. And coming down on you American people with those draconian executive orders. Executive order. He's going to penalize any individual American flag. They're going to get more strict in these upcoming executive orders and more tyrannical upon you American people. So in the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi, the Lord Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi of hosts. And pivotal, we are entering into some very critical time biblical prophecies. So just continue to pray to Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi to give us the spirit to endure, to tap into the volume of the book, and continue to measure the times diligently within itself. So with that, hopefully you all was edified, you all stay strong, keep pushing forward. Shalom.